I'm Charlene Nyantekyi. I'm Head of Hospitality Sales and Operations for Formula E. Yeah, I mean, it's completely different. I mean, I started probably in the mid-90s. I mean, even the terminology has changed. So we very much have gone from hospitality to premium experiences and what we're trying to create in Formula E, which is more, a lifestyle that people kind of really get involved in us. So there's definitely been lots of changes in terms of the demand as well. I think we are so fortunate, especially living in London, where almost every pub or pop-up restaurant, you can get really good quality food and beverage and service for a reasonable price. So I think just client expectations have also changed. Yeah, so different levels. So we have the Emotion Club, which is our real sort of high-end hospitality offer, and that's available for completely different sizes of groups. So you could be two people coming along wanting to enjoy a hospitality experience because it's a special occasion, or it could be a corporate group of say 50 or even 100 guests. And what we try to do is kind of create an open environment where everybody's very accessible. So it's where our drivers will go and have their lunch. It's where the team principals go and have their meetings. So it kind of really gives everybody that feeling of being in the space that they should be, where everything's happening. The flip side of that is we also have sort of more bespoke and dedicated hospitality spaces, so a little bit more privatised. So that might be one of our teams who really wants to activate and wants to have a full branded experience, and therefore slightly more enclosed. So we'll find sort of private spaces for them to be able to deliver a slightly different type but still premium sort of product. Yeah, that's a really interesting question, actually. I think the one thing that we really didn't want to do is be compared to Formula One, for example, because we're a very different racing series, and we want our hospitality to be a very different identity and more of who we are. I think one of the great things about Formula E and what attracted me to work there in the first place is the fact that it literally is a blank canvas, and you've got the opportunity to be really creative. And a great example of that is what we've just achieved only 2 weeks ago in Berlin, where we actually had the racetrack go through the heart of our Emotion Club. So it went through the premium experience. I've not been able to do that in any role, I can say, up until this point, but it's that sort of thing which hopefully makes us stand out a little bit away from everybody else. Yeah, there's a few different routes to market that we choose. I think we're very fortunate in that with the brands that we work with the partners that we have on board, they help to promote us in their local markets. Same with our teams as well. But we are still very small at the heart of the business. So we do work with a lot of local agencies, hospitality agencies, hotels, lifestyle and concierge groups to be able to promote us and to kind of push our packages a little bit wider than, I guess, the Formula E ecosystem. Well, I think the reality is electric cars are the future. So I think for anybody who has a young child, or even 3, 4, or 5 years old, when they get to that age where they're buying a car, the only option they'll have is to buy an electric car. So for us, the synergy is already there. I think where we're very lucky is we're able to kind of bring people in at a very young level and educate them and show them that electric cars are exciting. They are fast, and we're trying to create something, a movement, if you will, and that all ties into where we are with global warming and just the world that we want to leave for our kids. So we have something called the Allianz eVillage. So it's actually a free space, and it's a real activation space, almost like a carnival atmosphere that we have there. So we have a lot of our manufacturers who will display concept cars. Sort of Allianz like to sort of deliver really exciting experiences. Our drivers will do sort of signing sessions in there. There's photo opportunities, and because it's a free ticket, it really just kind of gets where we are in the local cities, people an opportunity to come down and see what it is that we're all about. And then we kind of build up from that. So, then we have the paid grandstand tickets, and obviously moving up from that, the premium experiences themselves. So it really kind of helps us, obviously, engross ourselves into the cities that we're in, but also gives the people of the city an opportunity to find out a little bit more about us. Absolutely, very different in the different cities we go to, but on average sort of starting around €25 per person. Again, some of the cities we go to, we actually have sort of children will go free into grandstands as well, and then anything up to sort of €2,000 for a VVIP premium experience. Yeah, I mean, that is the biggest challenge that we face. So as an example, in Hong Kong we delivered 6,000 hospitality experiences over a 2-day weekend. So finding a space for 3,000 guests is not an easy feat. And when you find that space, it's kind of creating the environment that you want to deliver. So it definitely is one of the biggest challenges that we face from city to city. I think what we've done really well in season 2 is we've actually used a lot of permanent structures. So we've gone into cities, seen the incredible spaces that are already there, and kind of worked with them to be able to deliver our premium experiences, but also sometimes having to build some supporting infrastructure around that. So a great example again is probably what we did in Paris, where we use Musée Rodin, which is a fantastic space. We built a stunning crystalline tent in the garden for our 1,000 guests, but then we had to build some supporting infrastructure to deliver the catering and to make sure that our staff had somewhere to go for their breaks, and bringing in even things like toilet infrastructure we had to build around that. So it is a challenge, but I think it's what does make us unique, and it's how I get up every day. We're sadists really at heart. I think it's something that we're doing a lot more going forward. A lot of stuff doesn't exist before we get there. So, it is about, the renders and kind of really creating that sort of VR experience, to kind of highlight what guests will be able to see. And actually a lot of that, because we are racing at the heart of it, is about guests understanding where they're going to view the race from. So they are, tend to be on either the start finish or on the best corners, so they have that visibility, and I think that kind of really helps everyone kind of become a lot more emotive and excited about the weekend's E-Prix. It is a lot about the broadcast product. It's awareness. So the fastest way to do that is to make sure that we're being, televised in all of the relevant channels and in the right cities, and kind of promoting ourselves the right way. And something that we already do very well is, when we're in cities, is how we engage with the local businesses, how we engage with the local residents, and kind of really getting them to embrace us and vice versa. And I think we do that quite a lot with some of the contracts that we issue to local suppliers, especially in a motion club. We'll go to local bakeries or find out where the speciality sort of dishes are served, and try and work with those businesses to bring them into what we're trying to achieve. It's about getting the balance right. One of the big things for me, especially when I joined a year ago, is the feedback was there's a lot of inconsistency. So how do we get more consistency? Sometimes you have to do that with a global partner, but it's about working the right way with your global partners as well. So a great example is Absolute Taste, who we work with for our catering. They come in, they're very well known for their quality and their creativity. But also, they're there alongside us, engaging with, as I say, using the example of the local bakery in Brooklyn, where we're going to in a few weeks' time, where we know this guy makes the best lime pies. So that's something that we're doing. We're working with him to deliver that as part of our experience. Yeah, I think it's more about how we engage with people when they're on site. So something that we've already done and worked really well is, it's kind of a bit of a random acts of kindness, where we plucked a fan at random, gave him an upgrade into a motion club. So that was a great experience for him. And then we went one better than that, and we got him on the grid. So he had that whole experience of walking the grid and kind of being part of the drivers in the preparation for the race. And just when he thought he couldn't get any better, we then gave him the opportunity to present the winning driver with the first prize trophy. And I think it's kind of things like that Formula E do so well, that kind of really just encourage people to come down and be part of it. We really do want to create a following, a Formula E family everywhere we go. So when we come back to cities, we're really embraced and everybody's excited for the next event. Yeah, absolutely. It's something that we've already kind of dipped our toe in the water. So actually in January this year, we had our first sort of e-race, competitive e-race, with the winner sort of having a $1 million pot of cash to be won. And I think what we took away from that was, yes, it was a great success, but also, this is a real emerging industry, and to be taken very seriously. And we want to do it the right way and organically. So, this was a race where we had some of the world's best sim racers driving against our professional drivers. And I think what we took from that is, we don't just want to be a badging exercise or just do something because it seems like it's the next big thing or, it's the next fad. So we've actually taken on somebody full time, so we can really grow this organically. So yes, you'll see a lot more with Formula E and sim racing. Watch this space.